Okay, the numbers are moving. That must mean it's going. I don't know what your utility bills are like in the summertime when you're running your air conditioning round the clock, but we have 99 degrees this afternoon, and it's a little bit warm out there. And luckily, there's a breeze. Looking to see the trees are moving. Luckily, there's a breeze out there, so there is like no air conditioning in my vehicle, and I think I'm headed out the door anyway. You can only stay in the house for so long, but I was thinking about those of you that have central air and are running it around the clock. I'm wondering like what your utility bills are because we have a window unit, and I can't remember the BTUs on it. I'm thinking it was like, does 5,000 sound right? I can't even remember what the range is like on them, but I'm thinking it was a 5,000 BTU air conditioner. We bought this thing. Well, my lady friend actually helped me load it into my van. It was just the two of us, and she's been dead a while, and I used it for a while before she died. So I'm thinking it's got to be more than more than a few years old. So, anyways, we bought this air conditioning unit, and at the time, I can't take the heat no matter what, but I really couldn't take the heat that summer, and so what we ended up doing was got a used unit, and there's only one window. You don't need to know this. I'm sorry. There's only one window in the house that the air conditioner would fit into. So I prayed and prayed and prayed because I was like really suffering. And that was back when my air conditioning in my van did work. I was really, really suffering. I was trying to figure out what we could do because we just had this one window. So it must have, must have had somebody sitting on my shoulder whispering because what we ended up doing was piggybacking the air conditioners so that they're both in the same window, but they're like, I can't even do this. They're like piggyback, like so. Sorry, my hands are not too expressive here, but that has worked really, really well. And only on the worst days we have to plug in the second one. So what I was thinking was, um, I know that you can probably shut off the vents to the unneeded rooms if you have central air. I have no idea how many watts a central air conditioner is, but I'm betting you it's a whole bunch more than my little window unit. So what we have done is this room I'm sitting in has a great big picture window, and the sun comes just streaming in that window late in the day, and it makes it very difficult to cool. But what we have done is the room you can't see this. The room that way is the same size and shape. Actually, it's bigger than the room I'm sitting in, and that's the room that has the two air conditioners in it. So we got this system worked out. Um, there's a doorway. I know you can't see this. There's a doorway that leads from the kitchen and the dining room into the rest of the house, and it's just a normal sized doorway. So there's a desk sitting in there, another computer desk, and on that computer desk is a tower fan, and it's the shape. It's pretty perfectly. It's shaped to just blow that air straight through that doorway. Okay, so that starts the circulation process through the house. And I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to suffering. I don't like to suffer too much. So we got those two air conditioners. Almost never do we use two. Almost only just one. Close down the bedroom doors. Some of them most of the time. And then that tower fan blows the air out of the kitchen and the dining room into the hallway. Now there's another fan strategically placed a couple of feet in front of that doorway on the floor. It's a box fan, and that draws the cool air into this living room, which is like hot as blue blazes later in the day. Then back over my shoulder, this other direction, you can see it. It's right there. We have um, oscillating fans on a stand. It can be placed in a stationary position where it doesn't wiggle back and forth. And so once that cooler gets drawn in here on the floor, then it gets circulated around with this oscillating fan. It's a for being backwoods home people. It's a pretty slick system. So you got the fan on the floor dragging the cool air in. Then it bounces it back around on this side of the room, and then the tower fan. And we have three fans and one air conditioner. I have no idea how many watts these fans are. I guess they're like 110 volts, right? I don't know how many watts they are. I don't know how the wattage is that it draws. But I'm betting you that my one air conditioner, which is I think 5,000 BTUs, and these three fans runs less electricity than your central air does. So if I were you, and I'm not, I would think about. I think all I spent was like $100 or $110 on this little window unit, and it's a sliding. It's a window that slides back and forth, sliding window, and it's just been wonderful. So like if it gets really really hot, we don't even have an attic fan. This is like a 1950s home, and there's not even an attic fan here. So if it gets pretty wicked, like right now, it's 99 degrees according to my computer here, then I can always flip that second AC on, but it doesn't usually have to be left on for long, and only in the most wicked weather. So for the electricity that's drawing, I'm going to guess that my regular summer utility bill with a little bit of air conditioning is about 100, and lately about 160, 100. I actually had a couple that were lower. I think I had some of the lowest utility bills ever recently, 150 for gas and electric, 145, something like that for gas and electric. And I do this stupid little trick with a bill. Like if I have any money at all, and they send me a bill for, let's say $145, I give them like 170, 175 bucks, so that the next one doesn't look as bad. It's a illusion. I'm trying to delude myself with illusions. So anyway, do what you will, but I really feel like just even if you have central air, placing a few fans strategically around to keep that air circulating really makes it much, much more comfortable. So basically the stuff has been running, well, that oscillating fan is not on right now, but it's been running pretty much around the clock. So I'm betting that even with all this air conditioning, I'm going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 210, maybe $210 for gas and electric for the month, including all the shower water, all the laundry water. Even when there's three of us home and we're running laundry every single day, every day but Sunday. So you might want to give it a thought if you're going to. If you I can see there are places in the country you could probably easily have a $300 or $400 electric bill, and if you have a bigger home, I'm guessing you could have a bigger electric bill than that. And our heating in the winter can get pretty ugly. We did put in a layer of, which I'm sure helps with the air conditioning somewhat as well. We did put in a nice deep, can't show my hands, nice deep layer, maybe, I don't know, 15 inches deep of, I can't remember what they call it. It's insulation that's made from like old newspapers, and you blow it in, and you need to pick a cool day to do that because it was not a very hot day, and it just about was. It gets hot. It gets way hot in the attic. So for a rookie girl who don't know much nothing, I just it's so nice to know that we can, like I said, run this around the clock. Now there are times that if the humidity is low enough, if the humidity is high, I leave it on all night, even if it's 65 degrees outside. But if the humidity gets low enough and it's even 80, and the humidity gets low enough and it's 80, we can open up everything, the doors and everything in the house, let the air blow through. And there are times that it just will get so crazy hot that you just need to let the night air come in and put the fans. I got to tell you a story. This is terrible. I shouldn't be spending 9 minutes of your time doing this, but I think my dad, when we were kids, taught us how to draw the air out of the house, because we didn't have air conditioning for the most. Well, it's another long story you don't want to hear. But anyway, I knew this friend of mine who was in an old home with no air conditioning, and they were just sweltering, just really suffering. And I managed to get an older air conditioning unit over there that didn't work real well, but it was a whole lot better than nothing. I had her pile all the kids in my van in the driveway and crank the air up full tilt while we went in and tried to cool the house down somewhat, tried to get the temperature down a little bit in the house. It was 99 or 100, I think it was 100 degrees in her driveway. And we walked in the house. I had a guy, older man friend, come and help. We walked in the house and it was hotter in the house than it was outside. This was like 10 o'clock at night. It was 100 degrees. And this is not in Arizona where the heat is dry either. But so we went in and put the box fan in the window pointing so it would suck the air out of the house, pointing outward so it pulled the air out of the house. And had to do that for quite a while to pull, get the air. So if the weather changes and it's cool enough at nighttime, get a box fan or any kind of fan and put it in the window pointing outward. A couple of windows if you can do that. Open everything up, like I said, if it close down at night and you're trying to get that hot air out of the house, and just put the fans on full tilt and pull all the hot air out of the house before you try to air condition anything. Just shut the air conditioners down for I do it for a good 35 minutes or so and get that air out of there. So that's all. I'll have to put a little warning on this that it's, plenty obvious and full of redundancy, but we have to do everything that we can to keep ourselves cool in this weather because people die from heat like this. And if you even just keep a cool cloth or take a cloth and put some ice cubes in it, let the ice cubes melt, and just pat your skin with it as you sit in front of the fan, that is helpful as well. And even though I'm sitting in this air conditioner, I've been in this computer chair day and night because I've been in a lot of pain lately, so I've been sleeping in this computer chair with my feet propped up. But when I get into the shower, even though I'm sitting in an air-conditioned building, home, you can just feel the heat running off your skin. 11 minutes and 45 seconds. It's going to want to quit here. I think I can't remember how long they go. So don't take a warm shower in this weather. I mean, you can make it like not even lukewarm. I wouldn't even take a lukewarm shower. I would just, you don't want it to be too chilly either necessarily, but definitely don't be taking hot showers in this weather. Okay, bless you. I'm always telling my friends, I always say these silly things, bless you. Never mind. I won't go into it. It's a little bit too silly. I just have the giggles today, I guess. Good thing. It's good to have the giggles. So that is 12 minutes and 38 seconds, and the clock is still running, so I'll put there. Hope that you will be safe and sound and comfortable in this weather. If you have some tips that you'd like to pass along, feel free to put them in the comment section below about air conditioning, cooling, and preventing heat stroke. I do not know how people deliver mail in this weather, or the UPS truck, or the FedEx people, or whatever. I just don't know how they do that. I actually took we knew our mailman since the time we moved into town about 19 years ago, and actually dragged him in the house one day and gave him frozen drinks to drink and gave him a sprayer bottle and put ice in it. Put chunks of ice in the sprayer bottle, and then cold water. And some of the girls in town that were watering flowers that year, I took them a spray bottle of ice water as well to get them through the day. So do what you can. Don't want heat stroke. Don't want anybody to die in this weather. God bless you all. God bless you in your efforts to prepare. Make a list and check it twice so you can eat more than just beans and just rice. I'm going to hit this button and it's going to say stop recording. I'm going to try to publish this puppy and see what happens. Bye now.